Hello everybody, welcome back to Fanblade. I'm guessing you've seen the thumbnail, you know what the story is. It's keyboard repair day. There's 2 points I want to make before we get started. Number one, as luthiers, we will occasionally be asked by other musicians to fix their equipment. I've been asked to repair saxophones, which I did not do because I know my limits. But I've also been asked to repair drum kits and various other things, and of course, as a heavy-handed keyboard player, actually trained pianist, so I'm used to putting a lot of effort in. I have damaged and had to repair a lot of my own keyboards. So the second point is that I'm not a professional keyboard repair guy, but I've been up to my elbows in a few of them, so I kind of know what I'm doing. What the problem is that key there, that's an A flat, that is intermittent, and depending on the sound that I've got everything set to, it can either be intermittent or it can just come out about half the volume of the rest of them. So I believe it's a contact problem. I believe the contacts are dirty, or potentially there's the little rubber pad under there may be damaged and doing something weird. So we'll find out when we get into it. But the first question is, how do you get into it? I've never had this one apart. I think I can see just through those gaps there, the top part is attached to the sides, so I'm thinking the sides unscrew and then this whole section should just lift off. Let's see how wrong I am about that. Okay, worth noting already, we've got screws of different lengths. This is my blank screw organizer. This is for keeping track of screws that are of different lengths. What's it gonna do? Is it gonna lift off? How does that? It's all free. Something's holding it down. Is there a screw underneath, perhaps? These uniform ones look like they're probably holding the key bed in. That's a random one. I'll take that out and see what happens. Short one. Okay. Okay, here we go. Ooh, we've got... It's a fair bit simpler than I thought it would be. Okay. Okay, let's clip that out. It just lifts off. And we don't need this bit. That just looks so wrong to me. That just should not be like that. So this is what's inside a Nord. There's not a heck of a lot really. That's where the power goes in. That'll be a transformer under there and all the power supplies for everything else. Simple ribbon cable over to everything else. That's the left and right outputs and the headphone. That's the pedal controls there and of course the MIDI jacks. And this is just the brains of it. There's another circuit board on the top, but that's got all the controls and all the LEDs and everything on it. So that's sort of the control panel. But this is where the magic happens. I wonder what happens if I flip that jumper there. There's another jumper in here. That must be for factory testing. And it doesn't go any further back than there. It's actually the tip of my finger is right on the corner of that circuit board, so it's not like a big. It's only that big. It's amazing that they can get it that small and have it sound that good. Right. So how do we get these keys off then? Oh, hey, look at this. This is exactly what I was expecting to see. These rubber pads here, underneath each one of these, there's two contacts. And as you press down the key, these two little posts here, press down on them, and they push them into a circuit board and creates a circuit. But it's not as simple as that. It's a heck of a lot more complicated than that, actually. What is happening is there are two graphite pads on the underside of these rubber parts, and they are contacting graphite pads on the circuit board. As you press down a key, one of them contacts first, and then the other one contacts a millisecond or 3 later. What happens is that the first one connects, it starts charging up a capacitor, the second one connects, and the computer reads the charge on that capacitor so it knows how hard you hit the key. Now, if you get in there and you use contact cleaner to clean these, you wipe the graphite pads away and you've stuffed it entirely. This is one of the key things about keyboard repair. No liquids. No water, no contact cleaner, no naphtha, no white spirits, no acetone, nothing. Spit polish, absolutely not. No liquid whatsoever is to get under these pads, because you'll screw up the resistance between those graphite. It's a very, very finely balanced system. So dry eraser, i.e. that, is all you need to clean the pads if that's the problem. So let's actually, you know what else is interesting? I've got 2 spears sticking out the end here. They may prove to be useful. Okay, I've had a bit of a look at the mechanism. There's a little stop just under there, and there's a spring in the back, and the pivot point is right here. So so we need to be able to take the spring off there, which I believe is just a matter of shoving the right size thing down it. And Allen keys come in a variety of sizes, so that should be just the right size. One of these should be just the right size. I'll try the bigger one. Too big. Just a little bit of pressure. Slide that spring out, and that key should just come off. Ah, no, it needs to go past that stop. Oh, and that's in the way. Okay, we've got to take the entire key bed off. Alright. Okay, so we've got the key bed out. This is the offending key here, and simply stretch that spring out and pop it off. Just got to take a few off in the immediate area so we can get them all out. And check the condition. Oop, that one's a little bit stuck. There we go. And that one as well. And let's see what we find. This should just lift out. There we go. You see there's a lot of dust, there's a lot of dirt. It's 7 years worth of muck. Little ceramic weight in there. That's glued in, or what that is. That gives the keys a very nice feel. Interesting. Interesting. Now, I don't entirely know what I'm seeing here, because just with this pattern of bracing around the keys, like, why does that stop there? That's clearly not moulded in for the rest of them. Why is it only across those 3? This is the offending key here. It doesn't have... There's a gap in the bridge there. That's a thick piece, that's a thin piece, then it goes thick again from there. This is all random, and I can't quite figure out why they would have done this, rather than just making them all uniform. But this is the one. Now, I'm at a loss to figure out why they've decided to mould the plastic in such an erratic fashion. Anyway, these are the rubber pads that I'm talking about. And the first thing to check is that it's not damaged in any way. It doesn't look damaged. I can't see any tears down the sides. Need something to get in the other side. Let's Just pull that back a little bit and have a look. No, that all looks fine to me. That all looks absolutely fine. So the next question to ask is, has some grit gotten in underneath there? And to answer that question, we're going to have to put the keys back on, flip the whole thing over, and take the circuit board off. Wow, okay. I was wondering why the screw wouldn't unscrew. It's because there's no thread on it. I've worked in factories before, and I've seen the occasional misformed screw come through, and we don't use them. That's a bit strange, Nord, that you would use that. Maybe they've done it for a reason. I probably shouldn't be too quick to judge. Cool. So, we are looking for that A flat there. Pretty sure it's that one. That's interesting. That's broken across there, but it's all molded as one piece across here. So why have they broken? Oh, actually, I see. So each octave is its own section. Okay, so that's nicely cleaned up. That's just got some ragged bits on it. Should have been cleaned up at the factory. We'll take care of them now. It's not the key we're working on, by the way. That's adjacent to it. I'm guessing this is nylon? Possibly glass fibre reinforced. No, this is interesting. Check this out. This is nice. It's not just plastic, this frame. It is plastic moulded around metal inserts. I'm guessing that's steel. That's very, very cool. That's probably makes this part of the key bed probably cost about 5 times as much to make, which means it'll last 100 times longer, but unfortunately it means it costs 5 times as much to buy. So that's where you're getting your money, is in the robustness, and that's a lovely detail. There's a few other little sketchy weird bits over here, but I've just spotted that, and that fills me with hope for Nord. Thank you, Nord, that's good. Now then, onto the circuit board. That's an impressive thing. I'm glad they let me take that off in 2 halves. Would have been nicer if they'd let me take it off in, say, 4 quarters. It had a lot less to deal with. But as it is, all of these rubber parts look like they come off in... Yeah, they come off in octaves, and there's a natural sort of cut there, so that you can cut off 4. See there's 4 and then 4, and then they've simply cut 4 off. So here's there. I am looking at this one here. Just put a little dot on there so I can tell which one's which. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm expecting to see, and this is exactly what I was telling you about. There's these little carbon pads here. If I just get that to hold nicely. There's these little carbon pads here, have a very specific resistance, and they're letting through a very specific amount of current when these little dots bridge the gap between them. And if they're not letting through the right amount of current, then of course the note is either going to sound quieter or it's not going to sound at all. Now that's what I'm getting on this note here, and it's very, very hard to see on camera. It's very hard to see in real life. Like there's a tiny little bit of wear just on the edge of that one and on the top of that one, but that's the one that's actually not working. So what you do is you just take an eraser, just a rubber, clean it off a little bit. Hopefully that works. Let's put it back together and see if it sounds. Okay, now you will notice that I'm putting all the screws back in with a hand screwdriver. That is because I want to make sure that I don't just go too far and strip out the threads with this one. I'm trying to get everything to a specific torque, which I can do by hand. I don't have a proper torque driver, so I have to sort of do it by feel. Essentially, you don't want to screw them down too hard, because then the keys in that area will react differently, or worse still, you just strip the screw out, although weirdly that doesn't seem to be a problem for that one. Yeah. So now, the moment of truth. It's working. That's the key. That's the key in question. That seems to be an improvement. It was way more noticeable on an organ sound. Well, that's just working now. Nice. Cool. Well, yeah, it's working. That's cool. That's it. That's job done. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I'll play you out with some random things. Let's just make some music.